When Brooks Robinson passed away this week after a lengthy illness, memories went back to when he was the best third baseman, probably in all of baseball, and all time unparalleled. His career, almost 3,000 hits, 268 home runs, 1,357 RBIs, didn't tell the whole story. He was called a human vacuum cleaner to Mr. Hoover at third base, a big part of that 3-year World Series final run for the Orioles under Earl Weaver. He won it in 1970, and of course, his defensive play against the Reds pretty well won him the series that year. Now, he was a very animated player at the bat. He would grab the top of his helmet, swing his bat with his left hand, and rock forwards and backwards for pitches. Though he was not a fast base runner, as he only had 28 stolen bases, nearly 2,900 games, he would swing his arms as he ran the bases, emphasizing the fact that he was running as fast as he could. As a hitter, Robinson's trademark was his custom-made batting helmet with a 1-inch bill that was much shorter than the standard. He would use a hacksaw blade to shorten the bill to keep it from distracting him at the plate. And I don't think that would be allowed in what they call the 2023 MLB. Now, he was so skilled at catching balls hit towards the third base, he would rarely make an error. As a fielder, he was always on the move, not typical for a third baseman at the time. His arm did not appear to be one of baseball's strongest, partly because he was so quick at letting go of the ball. Instead of cocking his arm back before throwing, he would transfer the ball from his glove to his hand and fire it in one seamless motion, according to published reports. He had a knack for knowing which play to make, as he was well known for running towards the plate to field bunts or other slow ground balls. Now, a top 100 player of all time, technically probably a top 15 infielder if you look at all the great players that played first, second, short, or third. He didn't have a typical athletic body. He was kind of slump-shouldered, not a real muscular guy, and he didn't appear to have a strong arm, said teammate and good friend Chuck Estrada. But then watching him play, you found out that none of that mattered because he had great hands, a quick release, and the runner was always out. Robinson's 16 gold gloves at third base are tied with pitcher Jim Cott for the second most won by any player, behind only pitching great Greg Maddux. Nobody's going to catch Maddux, of course. Now, Jim Murray of the LA Times, a great writer, wrote that during Robinson's career, that in the future, Brooks Robinson will be the standard every third baseman will be measured by. Writing 40 years later, one of his good friends said that statement has withstood the test of time. Casey Stengel and Home Run Baker, each of whom was involved in the game of baseball for more than 50 years, both agreed that Robinson was the greatest third baseman he ever witnessed. Harold Pye Traynor, the Pittsburgh Pirates Hall of Fame third baseman, to whom Robinson was often compared, said, "I once thought of giving him some tips, but dropped the idea. He's just the best there is." Umpire Ed Hurley said he came down from a higher league. Now, Robinson was very particular about his glove. He would try the gloves of different players and trade two of his own for theirs if he really wanted it. Once he found out which one he liked, he would take a year to prepare it. When he felt it was ready for game action, he would use it exclusively during games, using others for batting practice and near-field workouts. He was also picky about his bat, though he would use different ones from game to game, sampling those of his teammates and even opposing players before he found one he wanted to utilize. Now, aside from his playing ability, he endeared himself to Orioles fans because of his personality. Other stars had fans, goes a quote in Patterson's book, Robbie Made Friends. He treated them with patience and kindness while taking interest in them as well. When fans asked Brooks Robinson for his autograph, commented Oriole broadcaster Chuck Thompson, he compiled while finding out how many kids you have, what your dad does, where you live, how old you are, if you have a dog. His only failing is that when the game ended, that Brooks belonged to its story. Usually you did, you better leave the booth at the end of the 8th inning. By the time the press got to the clubhouse, Brooks was in a parking lot signing autographs on his way home. Never had a player meant more to a franchise and more to a city than Brooks has meant to the Orioles and the city of Baltimore. Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Brooks Robinson, again, one of the greatest players I had the opportunity to watch during the golden era, or the last golden era of baseball in the 1970s. And all I know this, ladies and gentlemen, I saw Pete Rose, I saw all these great third basemen through the years. Brooks had no parallel. What he meant to baseball, the AL East, the Baltimore Orioles, will never be touched. Brooks, rest in peace, and God has another great fielder they can call home. Have a good one. Bye.